Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ray Niles, and I'm the designer behind Red Barn Samplers. It's been quite some time since we last spoke, and I decided for this video it would be short and sweet and something I could do downstairs in my studio. So wanted to share with you a couple new things, things that maybe you've seen or maybe you haven't seen, and then also let you know that my market releases are now available on my website. So before I start in, I just want to thank all of you that continue to dial in and continue to send me words of encouragement and to let me know that you're looking forward to another episode. As most of you know, I am done being superintendent at the end of June for my local school district, and then I'll be able to devote much more time to the designing that needs to take place from Red Barn Samplers. Couple things that have come top of mind are the continued shout outs for people that are adapting some of my designs to better meet their needs. One of which is, if you haven't seen the Beatitudes sampler that was stitched by Rose McIntyre, here's the original. And it's kind of a pale blue-green with some beige. The chart actually does have in it what the colors are that match. I've since learned that Rose McIntyre standard 7 meant that she was a much older girl than what I first assumed, and if she made it to standard 7, she probably was a very accomplished stitcher. So if you are interested in that, I do know of one individual who is stitching that all in red, and I love the idea that the Beatitudes would be adorning her wall. I believe we probably all could use a little more Beatitudes in our life. And again, this is what the chart looks like, full instructions on the inside, conversions to DMC, Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, Gentle Arts, and it's not a very big girl. She's actually 132 by 160. So if you're looking for something that you want to adapt for the colors that you have in your house, I would encourage you to check her out. The other thing I have to share with you again is as we get into that Memorial Day and 4th of July season, I'm not sure if you've seen Sarah Pell. Sarah Pell stitched this when she was 10 years old in Rain Hill School. And the irony in all of this is that she only did it in two colors, two lovely colors of red and kind of a blue, dusty blue color. So if you're looking for a patriotic sampler to add to your patriotic wall, or you just want another red and blue sampler, this one might be for you. Again, this is Sarah Pell, and she measures 96 by 166. Again, a very quick stitch. I did this on 40 count. White Clay by Fox and Rabbit. So again, if you're interested in that, this may be one for you. The other one that's kind of fun, I've had a lot of interest in this one. This is Madeline Keller. And again, Madeline Keller had to have been one of those kids that you're just like, oh, I love that girl. She must have been pretty ornery because as you see in the model, she stitched the L first and then she made it look like this little whimsical man was sitting on a ledge, which I absolutely love. And again, if you're looking for a red sampler, this would be beautiful done all in black, maybe even using some of those painted threads that we've all kind of become accustomed to. And here's what this chart looks like. And she measures 89 by 137. Again, Weeks Dye Works is what I did it in. It's Weeks Dye Works 2259, which is Cayenne. I love this one. I think it's really cute, just very whimsical and reminds me of some of the small children I know in my own life that are pretty ornery. So another one that has had a lot of interest is Ada Mae Pringle. And if you watched my other video when I first introduced Ada Mae, you can't really say Ada Mae Pringle. You have to say Ada Mae Pringle. And she used every color that she could find. And the light is not picking this up very well, but lots and lots of color on Ada Mae Pringle. And she did this in 1881, so she has 1881. She's no ancestor that I can find to the Pringles Potato Chip Factory. Ha ha ha. But actually, I love the name. Ada Mae Pringle. She did it in a very bright lime green at the bottom. And her chart looks like this. So Ada Mae Pringle is at 176 by 200, and she was stitched on Vintage Beeswax by R&R Reproductions. Another great option would be Tephra by Cedar River Linen. So if you're looking for another fun one to add some color to your wall, Ada Mae Pringle would be an option for you as well. Now, probably my most popular, I had two really popular samplers at market, and the one that was probably one of the most popular was this little beauty. This is Kitty Drabble, and first off, I love the name Kitty Drabble. I also love that it's small. You can see compared to my hand, it's not a very big sampler. But I love the two chairs. I love the two lovebirds on top. And what I found is that Kitty Drabble, her life leads me to believe that perhaps she was a handicapped girl. She moved in with her older sister who had just gotten married 2 years before her mother died. And she actually lived with her sister and brother-in-law for 40 years. And when her sister-in-law died, she continued to live with her brother-in-law. So part of me thinks that maybe Kitty never married because maybe she wasn't able to live on her own. And it just makes me happy to know that she found happiness and love in a family where she got to belong. So this is what Kitty Drabble looks like. And again, she's 102 by 115, a very quick stitch. And I did use the painted thread on here. So if you're interested in using painted thread, I did it on the green on the border, and you can kind of see how that variegates. So if you've not found the painted threads, they're overdyed silks, 103s. I absolutely love these. So I would encourage you to check those out. It gives some new dimension to your samplers for sure. Now, another one that was popular, this is my other second most popular, was this little AD sampler. And what made AD 1894 so popular is if you happen to be at the Hobby House event that I went to in October, I actually took part of this sampler here and incorporated it from this sampler here. So the original is using these colors, and again, this little girl used every color under the sun. But then when I passed out the actual chart for individuals at the event, I gave them random colors of painted overdyed silk. And I've seen this posted on social media quite a bit over the last several months, and it just makes me happy because there's so many different color variations on this. And again, if you're interested in it, you can see that this is the chart. It's called AD Sampler 1894, and it measures 77 by 77. And on the inside, I do give a reference to the Hobby House event as well. So the difference is we didn't include the AD on the top. So real quick stitch would be a great gift if you're making one for a friend, and a nice addition for a small to add to your wall. So the Hobby House version and the one that was released at Market. Those would be the samplers that were hanging anyway for the Market releases. The other ones I have are more of a small. And the first one is Red Moon House, 1887. And Red Moon House also includes in it the actual full sampler, as well as instructions on how to make the little pin keep. So here's what the pin keep looks like. And I use Lady Dot Creates, which I absolutely love her stuff. Stuck in a couple pins from Jersey Girl Stitches, Teresa, and just finished that off. It's just, again, if you're looking for something quick to stitch and maybe a little bit of a red, white, and blue, this might be for you. And then I also had made a little tiny needle book as well. So you can do a needle book in it as well using the motifs that are listed in the chart. The actual pin keep is 105 by 125, but there's not a lot of stitching in it because if you use a light colored background, you don't have to stitch that white. So that might be an option for you. It uses Classic Color Works and then Weeks Dye Works as well. But any red, white, blue, and green would work if you have some favorites that you use. The other one I did was Elizabeth Thompson 1840 scissor case. And again, Elizabeth Thompson, you can see the original is on the cover here. This is the original, and then these two are snippets from that. So again, what I created was a small scissor case, which the colors are quite yummy, and I love this darker fabric. The inside would be where you would put your scissors, and again, that's the back side. Now, the thing I love about this is you don't have to be a fancy stitcher to be able to do it, right? You just do 4 lines, you stitch 4 lines, zip, 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 and zip, and then I took my rotary cutter and I just made it kind of a fancy edge, and then I don't have to worry about flipping that and making sure I don't have dog ears or that things aren't square. So again, that might be something you're interested in. I also created a tiny little needle book using the same idea, where you just literally sew 4 sides. I did a stitch down the spine just to hold it, put in some Warm and Natural, and I have a needle book as well. So those were my Market releases. They are available on my website. They're also available from about 32 different L&S shops globally. I would encourage you first and foremost to support your local L&S if at all possible. Those ladies and those guys have done a great job supporting us as designers, and they are available in hard copy from them. They're also available hard copy from me. also as a PDF download too. So if you happen to be a viewer that happens to be overseas and you're not able to get the hard copy, then you could definitely download it as a PDF as well. And I would love to see what you're stitching. Make sure you're tagging Red Barn Samplers. You're catching me on Instagram or Facebook. I also wanted to share with you a couple things that have kind of crossed my path that may be of interest to some of you. I acquired, let me grab this here. I acquired 2 little pieces that are done on gauze. Now this one, again, the colors in this, see if I can adjust my camera a little bit better. The colors in this, you can't really tell. This is all done on gauze, but again, you can see the size of my hand. I'm guessing this to be about 1890. I'm not even quite sure. But along with it, I also got this. And you can see this is the size of my hand. And it's an entire little scene of a cottage, a little girl on a sidewalk. And again, it's also done on gauze. Let me see if I can make this just pop in a little bit better. You're getting a bad glare there, but you kind of see it. I really, really like these 2 pieces. I'm reminded of Michelle, who was at Sampler Symposium in January, Mama Loves You GB, and she had in her pocket a tiny, tiny little sampler that was the inside of a watch case. And she had it between 2 pieces of glass, and she kept it in her pocket for obvious reasons. But when she pulled it out, the stitching was so dainty and so tiny that it instantly reminded me of the piece I have as well. It's so tiny you can't even see the stitches on it. But I loved this, and I thought it was something that I had to have. I'm never going to reproduce it, but I wanted to have it for my collection because I really think it's beautiful, and the stitching on it is exquisite. I can't even imagine how hard the individual worked to be able to get that done, especially since I use magnifiers and light and everything else I can to help me. The other thing I've run across most recently, and some of you probably already found these, some of you may not know about them, but it's called polka dot. Now, especially during the winter time, my thumb will crack and my pointer finger will sometimes crack too because I end up pushing my needle through. And so I had been using like a Band-Aid, or there's even some of the things that you can use if you have a wart removal and it's just a little round circle Band-Aid. But a friend of mine turned me onto these, and they're called polka dot, and they are sticky thimbles. So if you just have something that's maybe a little bit sore and you want to protect it so that you're not getting your finger poked each time, you might want to grab polka dot. I got these, I want to say Fat Quarter Shop maybe, or 1, 2, 3 Stitch. But they come in a tin. You can keep track of them easier. And again, just a nice little thing to protect your finger, especially if you're stitching something where your needles are a little more sharper than normal. So would share that with you as well. And then several of you have reached out to me about how much you miss not seeing an iPhone tip. And so I got to thinking, well, what kind of iPhone tip would I want to share? And first and foremost, I would remind you that if you haven't updated your software to the most current software for your iPhone, you would definitely want to do that. My tips may or may not apply to Android. I don't use an Android, but I use an iPhone. As most of you know, I worked for a very large tech company, Apple, for several years. And so I taught a lot of teachers how to use devices and superintendents and principals how to use our devices with students. So if you are using an iPhone and you want a tip today, let me tell you a little bit about one that I think may be of interest. So I have my iPhone here, and I'm going to go into Photos. So for me, my Photos lives in the top corner. And I took this picture about 2 weeks ago, and you'll notice a little bit of a cloudy day. I've got a really pretty color on that barn, but maybe it's not the color I really want. So what you can do is you tap on the 3 lines down by the trash can. When you do, a secondary menu pops up, and right in the middle of that menu, it says the word adjust. See that? It says adjust. If I tap on adjust, another menu pops up, but the best part about this menu is there's a magic wand, and that magic wand says auto. If I tap on auto, it actually brightens, darkens. You can kind of see that a little bit, or I can go over to these settings and start to adjust manually. The beauty of that is sometimes you just need a tiny little tweak, and it doesn't need to be anything fancy. So if it's just a tiny little tweak that you're needing, it'll actually do it for you immediately. So let me show you this picture that I took of some t-shirts we have for school. And if I want to adjust this picture, again, I tap on the 3 lines. I tap on the word adjust in the middle, so you can see that in the middle. And when I do, I can tap on the wand. And when I tap on the wand, see that brighten or darken? You may want to try that if you have some pictures that you want to brighten or darken, and it's automatic and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do it. When you're done adjusting your picture, up at the top it says cancel or done. You just tap the word done and your picture goes to the way you've set it. So again, a really nice quick tip to be able to adjust some of your photos without having to be a Photoshop expert or having to be somebody that knows a lot of software. I would encourage you to try that. And if you get some pretty fun pictures, I'd love to see those. Again, I don't really have a lot to share this afternoon. I just wanted to touch base with so many of you who have been so kind to reach out. I'm really looking forward to being able to devote much more time to this. I have thoroughly loved my time as superintendent in my school district. Truly the greatest honor of my professional career has been to be superintendent here. But I am ready to do the next big thing. And for me, the next big thing is really diving into more of the cross-stitch designing and being able to share the stories of the little girls that stitch these pieces. So if you're interested in any of my new designs, they are available on Red Barn Samplers. I also have placed, in case anybody's interested, a picture of this side. What my hoop stack looks like. I do have a couple hoop stacks left. They are either in red or in blue. I don't have any wood ones left, but you might want to check those out too if you have some beautiful hoops that you'd like to display. So with that, I just want to thank you for dialing in, and may your floss never twist. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.